Hey, how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Man, it's your guy, Jesus Hawthorne. Some of y'all know me by Mr. MUB, man, Mr. Make You Better, man, because all I do is provide financial education along with an opportunity that will do nothing but make you better. And you see, I'm rocking the Richest Option, Brokers of Choice, MUB Apparel, man. I'm going to be dropping the link inside this video. You see, I'm also rocking the Crown is Always On Apparel. The Crown is always on. Now, the purpose of the Richest Option is because back in June 2014, I ran across some information that absolutely blew my mind, And so all the time I used to always hear how America is the land of opportunity. You know, it's the land of opportunity. So many people from all across the world, even risk their life to come into America seeking opportunity. Now, once you put yourself on the right side of capitalism, that actually becoming rich is an option. And for those that was broke, it was due to some personal choices that they was making. Some was due to ignorance, other was due to stupidity. The difference of ignorance and stupidity, ignorance is if you absolutely have no access to the information and knowledge. That is ignorance. Stupidity is when you got access to the knowledge, which means you know better, but yet you do things it's the opposite, then that's what we consider stupidity. And so that's why I came up with the slogan, rich is an option, broke is a choice. Actually, I didn't come up with it, America did, just by the principle that was in place. And then working with the crown is always on. Now that came about because I want everybody to think and operate like royalty, think like a king, think like a queen for the ladies, you know what I'm saying? And always keep your crown on, always keep your crown. So, you know what I'm saying? So that means don't get to put yourself out of character. Now, I dropped this video because I'm gonna introduce you to something that was introduced to me, and like this information was like mind blowing, regarding of everybody in America is going to need what we like to call an income for life. As long as you're working, as long as you're living, you're going to need an income for life, So here's the breakdown of it, man. So we're talking about working years. Now, and to see up there, working years, 65 years, right? Because traditionally, that's when people think of the age of 65 is when you're eligible for retirement. When the truth is, retirement is an income and not an age. You can retire at any time, as long as you got enough income producing assets that will sustain your quality of life. Now, when people normally get the age of 65, that's when they become eligible for Social Security. That's when you normally become eligible for Social Security. So that's why the age of 65 is so synonymous with retirement. All right. Now, you see this other number right here. It says 25 years, the negative 25 years, right? Now, we come up with the number 25 is because traditionally that's when people normally start their career. So let's say you graduate high school, 17, 18. You go to school, you get your bachelor's degree, you graduate your bachelor's degree roughly about 22, 23 years old. Then you decide, you know what, you want to progress more, you want to go ahead and get your master's degree. Normally, you'd be about 25 years old when you get your master's degree, and that's normally when you start getting locked into your career. Now, when you minus 25 years from 65, you get 40 years. So that right there is what we like to call like the time period of how many people normally hold, sustain a job. Now, some people are longer, some people are shorter. I've seen, me being active duty military, because I am, I've seen people retire at the age of 20 years in the workforce, as a military. I've seen those in the civilian sector work as long as 50 years. It depends on your situation. Now, let's go ahead and break this down. The average person work about 40 hours a week. In this day and time, I've seen people who average 60 hours a week, but to keep the math simplistic, we're going to use 40. We're going to use 40. Now, there's 52 weeks in a year. So we're going to say that, out of those 52 weeks, somebody will comfortably work, 50 weeks instead. So we're going to say that those 2 weeks are actually used for vacation. Now, the sum total of that is 2,000 hours. Now, understand this. Some people work more than 40 hours a week, and some people probably even work more than 50 hours a week, but we're going to keep it simplistic. So now we got 20,000 hours. Now, I sat down with this gentleman, and he asked me, he was asking me, like, how many, hours have I produced since I've been working? Like, how many hours in the workforce have I produced? He said, so according to this, if I worked at least 5 years, that was 10,000 hours. If I worked 10 years, that was $20,000. 20,000 hours. And if I worked 15 years, that was 30,000 hours. And if I worked 20 years, that's 40,000 hours in the workforce. And so I gave him my number. It was roughly about like 15 at the time, 15 years in the workforce. He said, he asked me this question. He was like, can you show $1 saved for every hour that you worked? Hear me out. Can you show $1 saved for every hour that you worked? And at the time I couldn't. And it really started hitting me mentally, like, man, what the world is going on? Am I really that bad with money? What's going on that, I couldn't show $1 saved? He told me to calm down. What it is, it was 5 major obstacles that was in your way that's been eating up your income, not only for you, but think about all the generations before you. There were 5 major obstacles that's been eating up your income, eating up your money, and really stealing your wealth from underneath your nose. He said, now, the crazy part is the school system haven't been teaching us how to properly overcome these obstacles. And because of that, people have been capitalizing on it. People have been capitalizing on your ignorance. So remember I talked about earlier, the difference between ignorance and stupidity. Now, I wasn't stupid. What it was some bunch of information that I was completely ignorant to. I was ignorant to a system. All right. Now, he also broke down, he said, you know what? The crazy part is the average American, and so I want you to look at this number right here, $25,000. He asked me, is $25,000 a year, is that a lot of money? I returned, I was like, in today's time, really? No. You can make it happen. You're probably gonna be struggling, but depending on the cost of living where you at, no, $25,000, that's not a lot of money at all. He said, now think about this. You take that $25,000 and you multiply it by 40 years in the workforce, guess what? You would have produced $1 million. So that really kicked me in my chest. So you mean to tell me from my grandfather, my father, and including myself, that we have produced millions and millions of dollars. Yet, and at that day and time, when this got introduced to me, I could not show $1 saved for every hour that I was in the workforce. The answer was yes. He said, guess what? I'm gonna introduce you to the obstacles, and I'm also gonna give you a plan how to overcome these obstacles. So that way you can put yourself not only on the right side of capitalism, but you can truly and fully understand that rich is an option. All right, y'all. So guess what? This is the first video of this series right here, man, called Income for Life. That's the name of the series. It's going to be called Income for Life. This is the first video. And if you like this video, do me a favor, man. Like it. Also share it. And then get ready for the rest of the playlist, because I'm about to create a nice playlist that's going to break down a lot of this great information, man. And you definitely want to pass it along. So this is your guy, Jesus Hawthorne. Some people know me by Mr. MUB, Mr. Make You Better, because all I do is provide financial education along with an opportunity that will do nothing but make you better. And also remember this, man, boom, always keep the crown on, man. Always keep the crown on. So until the next video, man, you stay blessed. Peace.